What's going on, everybody? Kyle Powers here, Haven Real Estate Group at eXp Realty. Today we are going to cover the biggest buzzword in probably all of real estate. We are going to go through and talk about a fixer-upper, the pros and the cons and everything else in between, and I will give you my personal experiences of what I've got. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I always want to hear about your experiences with any fixer-uppers. Put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Let's start with the good news because that's always the best part, right? We always want to look at everything through rose-colored glasses. So the pros of buying a fixer-upper are going to be the obvious, right? Low cost, being able to customize it how you want, the investment opportunity, and then being able to learn and work and do things too. I think probably the biggest thing with the pro of buying a home that needs work or needs updates is that if you're willing to do it, you have the opportunity to give almost endless equity opportunity. And if you are curious what equity is, go ahead and reach out to me later and I'll explain that to you. But the kicker with it is that having an investment or having a house that needs some updates and some opportunity to make it a little bit better, it is going to be one of the best opportunities for you to gain equity into your home, i.e. make money. Here's the thing with it. I love it. I absolutely love it. My wife, bless her soul, she is glutton for punishment when it comes to this because I love getting into a home that needs a lot of updates. When we bought our house, the house that we're currently living in, my wife's like, I want this one. I said, okay, if you're gonna buy this one, this is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna move a door and a window. We're gonna rip out the kitchen and redo the kitchen. We're gonna add this, remove this supporting wall and move this and change this bathroom. And we're gonna add a bathroom in this bedroom and we're gonna refinish the basement. We're gonna redo this. I mean, the list went on and on and on and on. But here's the reason why I did it. One, we bought it substantially less than what the market was asking for, even at the time. And two, we've built that equity into it. We do a lot of the work ourselves, not all of it, right? Like I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm a master electrician and master plumber and master carpenter. I'm not, I'm a DIYer and I absolutely hate doing drywall. That's my number one I hate doing. I will hire that out 1,000,000 times over. Painting is also up there. But if you're willing to do it and you do take your time and do a good job, you're going to do one of two things. Actually, probably both. You're going to learn as you're going through it, okay, and you're going to get better. And number two, you're going to make equity. You're going to build equity in your home. That's the beauty of all of this, right? And I think that's the thing that you need to kind of look at it. Now, what I will also tell you is that you're not trying to buy these numbers. If you're going to live in it, especially a live-in flip, you don't necessarily need to get the numbers that I would need to get as an investor. So there's a little bit difference there. Like whenever I offered on my own personal home, I offered them like $50,000 less than the actual asking price. And they were just like, no, we're not gonna even respond to you. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Here's my offer. And I gave him another offer. We negotiated back and forth. I ended up getting some money off the deal and it was good. It worked out. And it's been a really good home for us and I love it. I love our home. I love the neighborhood. I love everything about where we're at and it gives you that opportunity. And I think that's the other thing too, is that you are able to get into a neighborhood that you want with being able to still build that equity and getting into that one and not buying it at the top of the price range. Like there's houses in my neighborhood that are listing and going for way higher, way double what I paid for my house. And they're not in near as good a shape as what I have. Something to think about. The cons, the bad news of buying a fixer-upper. You're going to run into issues. You're going to run into things that are going to be costly. They're going to take time. They're going to be, that's going to put an amount of stress on you that is unlike anything else. Trust me, I didn't get all this gray hair from my kids. So, but here's the thing, guys. If you can expect that, if you can expect to have the unexpected, I know that sounds weird, but budget for that, right? Budget for, like, I'll give you an example. We bought a house, an investment house. We went in and we bought this thing for $60,000, right? That's what we bought it for. And I'm like, okay, cool. It's actually, ironically enough, our first Airbnb. But I was like, all right, cool. So I'm going to go in. We're going to peel down the wallpaper. We're going to redo the floors and we're going to update the HVAC and we're going to call it a day and move on. Let me tell you, we started peeling down the wallpaper And the plaster, the lath and plaster, the plaster was just crumbling in our hands. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? So if you are tearing apart a lath and plaster house, I'll tell you this a little bit and we'll keep moving, but there's no insulation behind there. All of the electrical behind there, more than likely is knob and tube because it's that old. And it is just, you have, at what point do you stop? So thankfully we were in a position that it was okay where we made the decision to take and get rid of all the plaster. We redid all of the electrical at that point in time. We pumped in insulation at that point in time, so it's a completely insulated house. We redid all the drywall. I mean, it was $35,000, over half of what we paid for the house, additional what I was planning on doing. So there are unexpected costs. There are things that come up and you need to be ready for that. Now, I'm not saying that every house is going to be an extra $30,000, $35,000, but be ready for those, right? You have to be ready for something. When you open up a wall and you don't know what's behind it, it's going to be an issue. So you need to pay attention to that. The time consuming piece of it, right? I think right now contractors are so incredibly busy, but can you take some time off of their plate? Are you going to have delays? Are you going to have things that come up? Because we've run into it a couple of times where we were months past our deadline because of contractors. They couldn't get in, they couldn't get the materials in, whatever it is. Like, you need to kind of build in that into your timeline. Because probably one of the most stressful pieces of it is the timing. Every day that a house sits and not being worked on, it's costing me money. And that's the issue that I have with that. And that's the hard part for me, where I'm like, this has to be something different. So that's what you have to be ready for, right? And be ready for those timelines, and it helps you with a lot less stress in those senses. But being prepared for that is going to be very, very important. Okay, so how do you know if buying a fixer-upper is right for you? So here are the things that I'm going to tell you guys. When you walk into a home, number one, you have to be able to see it, right? Like for me, I walk into a home, even with clients' homes, I walk into a home and I'm like, okay, immediately I know that I can move this wall, I can change this, I can add this bedroom, I can move this bathroom, I can do all of these things, and it's going to work better for me or for the client after the fact once you go to sell it. And it's going to work better for everybody because it's going to give you that opportunity to give a better flow, I was literally walking through a house with some clients just the other day, and they're putting all these things in, and the great ideas. I said, guys, this whole half of the house that you're talking about, you have to fix these stairs before you can do anything, because right now it's going to be an issue. You're going to have an issue with the fact that somebody's not going to feel right going down to this weird little second area basement room. You need to fix this, and that needs to be first and foremost. Like, oh yeah, we think we can do this and this and this and this. I'm like, all right, cool. What about doing this and changing this and moving these around? And all of that really kind of comes into play. So that comes in with budget, right? Like, what is your budget going to be? And I think the biggest thing I will tell you with this is being realistic with your budget is the most important thing that you can ever do whenever you're going to flip a house. And in fact, I would say going higher on that. I don't know how many times we have gone over budget on everything that I said, like, oh yeah, we can do a bathroom for $2,500. Cool. $5,000 later, it's like, oh shit, we didn't make that one right. So get hard numbers if you can, get all of that stuff. Have a real number with what it is going to be and what that is going to look at. The other thing is going to be your time commitment, right? Like, think about it. Can I get this flip done in a month? Can I get this flip done in 6 months? Am I looking at 8 months? Like, what does that look like? By the way, I've been through them all. I've got the flips that I got done in a month. Those are great, by the way. And then I've got the flips that have taken me all of 10 months to get done, right? And scared me, and so much stress and so much extra things that go on, and just like, oh, it was so incredibly stressful. But here's the thing with that is that you have to be able to be realistic with yourself, both on time, both on budget. And then also know your experience level, right? I think the experience level is very important. I will be able to help you with all of that team, but I'm telling you is that you having the right people around you is going to be incredibly, incredibly important, because if you don't, you will fall on your face. I've done it, by the way. I had the very first flip I ever did, worst team I've ever had. Worst team ever. I was the agent, was very, very green. I had the worst contractor that I've ever had. I won't name names. He knows who he is. He ditched me in the middle of the project, gave me budget numbers that were half of what the real numbers were going to be. And we ran everything just the complete wrong way. And it was the hardest lesson that I've ever had to learn. Again, it's where I got the gray hairs. So, but having that experience level and having the experienced team around you is going to be very, very important to have that. And that's probably the biggest key that I will tell you, that to have those people around you. So you're trying to figure out how to finance your fixer-upper. Well, here's the thing. There are a million different ways to do it. So what I will tell you is there are renovation loans, hard money loans, there's home equity loans, there are getting creative financing and having a seller owned one where you're doing seller financing. There are just a million different ways that you could do it. And I think everybody's a little bit different. And I would tell you guys that, if you have questions on this piece, please reach out to me and I will talk to you about anything and everything in between. I have no problem doing that. I love helping investors. But doing a renovation loan, you're looking at it, go talk to the banks, go talk to the people that need to. Again, I've got people in place for this. Getting a hard money loan, those are big ones too. Those are fantastic ones actually, if you really wanted to. You have the opportunity to really kind of grow and get cash, getting ready to go on that one. And then if you have cash, right? Like I've done it before where we teamed up with the seller. Seller comes in and says, hey, we're going to do this one. You're good to go. I'll do the remodel on it. You go ahead and hold the note and we'll take care of that. And we do that one and we split the profits at the end. That's an easy one, but you got to have cash in hand ready to go for that one. Home equity line of credits, those are big ones. I don't always recommend those, but that's an easy access to cash if you want it. Just know that there's a lot of different financing opportunities out there where you don't have to worry about it. I've even got loans where I've put $0 of my own money into the project and able to really kind of crush it through doing that stuff. So there are tons and tons and tons of ways to get these financing options available to you. It just is going to depend on everybody's scenario. So reach out to me and we can figure some things out on that side. I've been flipping houses now for almost 9 years. Again, have a background in construction. I have that opportunity to do that. But here's the kicker with it is that you don't learn what's behind those walls until you get in there and start busting into them. I will tell you, I've gone from the good, right? I bought a house, which even that one really wasn't good because I bought a house that had a squatter in it. Got a whole series on that one. Check that out, please. But we got that flip done. We were ready. We had our ducks in a row. It was done in 1 month. We were 4 weeks. We were in, out, and sold in 1 month. It was absolutely fantastic. We planned it well. It worked well. This was done recently. There was a lot of opportunity within that one. And so we bought it right. We had a lot of things that came with that. It was great. My very, very first one is what I was just talking about. It was the worst one. I had to go in and fix the basement. I had to go in and fix the upstairs. I had to go in and I ran the numbers and the contractor I was with. I should not have trusted him. Yes, dear, I know you told me not to. My wife told me not to when she first met him. Listen to your wives, listen to your spouses, I guess. Let's just put it that way. That's what I've learned. But anyway, so what I will tell you is that it's one of those things where you have to be ready for both sides of it, right? And the best way to end up on the good side is by planning. Okay. I've had my best one actually is we bought the house, we moved the stairs, we demoed it, and we sold it. So for 1 weekend of work, we made $30,000, $40,000. It was fantastic. I had a buyer that ended up buying the house as is, where is. That's what she wanted. And I was like, perfect. I'll absolutely take care of that. I'll even give you the cabinets I had for it. Like, it was awesome. And so we had that, right? And so they're good and bad to each of those. I think you just need to be prepared for that because it's never just sunshine and rainbows. There's a lot of things that may come up. Again, there are good ones, but be ready for the bad as well. That's all I have for you, and I really hope that it has been helpful for you. I love fixer-uppers. That is the quickest way for anybody to get into something and actually build wealth. And I think it is the best opportunity for you, especially as a first-time home buyer, because you have an ample amount of opportunity with low percent down loans and everything else that comes with that, because you don't need the 20% to put down. But what happens with that is that you have the ability to really kind of build that into it. So buying a fixer-upper can be the best thing that you've ever done. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I would love to talk with you. I'd love to help you out. I'd love to get you taken care of. My phone number is 785-477-5485. My email is kyle@homesforsalemhk.com. Again, I'm here. I want to help out. As always, if you really feel like this has been helpful for you, please go and hit that subscribe button. Go and hit that little bell so you get notified of any future content. And go ahead and share this video with somebody who's thinking about or might be interested in and anything else with that way. Again, I am here to help you with buying, selling, investing, or anything real estate related here in the Manhattan area. I would love to hear from you, and I'd love to hear your stories as well. Put in the comments below, reach out to me, whatever that needs to be. I would love to hear from you and get you guys taken care of. So thank you so much for watching today. We'll see you next time.